Hello Prime Coders, welcome back to Prime Coding. Today I'm gonna start Oops Crash Course. Yes, you may ask whether it contains all of the topics of Oops. No, the topics which are important because there are many concepts which includes Oops concepts, but we need to talk about only the important thing which if you go through most of the interview question you would be able to answer well. And this crash course has been made taken into the mind is how interviewer want you to answer in the interview. Okay, what interviewer expects, all the definitions are there with real-time examples plus the coding snippet. Okay, in multiple language will let you know everything about in this particular crash course. It is more than premium quality that I believe because it's take 3 to 4 days to build this fantastic crash course notes. Okay, so without wasting time, if you are new to this channel and you want to appreciate this crash course, do hit like button and subscribe to the channel. Let's begin with classes and object, which is the pillars, or I would say which is the most important topic of class. Okay, or I would say oops. So a class is a blueprint for creating objects, which is totally clear. It defines properties, attributes, and behavior methods. If you understand this thing, it is totally like a person who owns a treasure hunt map. Okay, whoever or any kid, if they have map in his hand, then definitely all the methods, which you can tell it as attributes and methods, are in his control. So this guy is an object of the treasure hunt map. A simple layman language that I make you understood. Now the object created from it will have whatever object that you are creating for the class. Let's say you have a class A, and if you create an object like object O1, O1 has all the properties, which is attributes and behavior methods with it. You can use anything which is there. I will tell you in brief as well, stay till the end. An object is an instance of class, which means with object is an image of class. Okay, you can access anything, meaning it is a concrete representation of the blueprint. Like blueprint is a paycheck, but the object is an instance which is a concrete representation which has all the methods and attributes associated with the object. If you have an object, you can do anything with classes, isn't it? So now let's see a very intuitive real life example, which is imagine you own some bakery, which is totally a good business to do. As a class, the bakery makes different types of cakes and these cakes are object. Now, how cakes could be the object for the bakery? Because all cakes have common property, isn't it? Flavor, weight, price would be common for any type of cake which is present in the bakery. Yes, and the behavior should be in the format of making it, whether you are making using a baking method or icing method. As we all know, there are many types of cakes. One of them are baking and icing. So yeah, if you want to cook a cake, it would be better understandable if we see the code snippet. This is a pseudo code, okay, if you see properly, which will help you to write code in any language. This is an intuition of the actual code. Now if you wonder where you can find the CPP, Java and Python code, why? Because in your interview these all codes are very important. Most of the time they will ask you how you can write inheritance. We'll see in this video too. Any class object, can you give a code snippet, write in your favorite programming language? There you should be able to write all of these properly. For that, just move towards www.primecoding.in. The link is in the description. Just go to the digital product. Okay, you will get the product, and the main part of this oops notes are in depth. The things which is like not be included in this crash course also included in that notes too, in the Java, like serialization, deserialization and much more, and all with new. Most of the code examples are new and they are in 3 of the languages: CPP, Java, Python, so that if you are learning it, you will get an intuition of 3 of the languages. Whatever you like, you can go with it. Otherwise, you can prepare for 3 of them. Because nowadays in interviews, they are asking in multiple languages too. So you are prepared with a single notes, isn't it? So it is very interesting note. I bet you will love it, definitely. But this is not agenda. Agenda is our pseudocode. So you have a class bakery, which is attributes, which is flavor, weight, price. Method is bake and add icing. So attributes which will remain common for all of the object which will gonna initialized by the main function. And object is cake1. Now cake1 has all access on attributes and methods as we learned from the definition. Great. So bakery, we call the bakery class where we initialize, we need a chocolate cake and it should be a 1 kg and worth of rupees 500. Now it will go here. The price has been set. Now we need a method. Which type of cake you need? I need a bake cake. So please bake it. So bake method would be triggered and your cake would start baked because everything has been stored in the database. Now let's talk about the second class example where the bakery, the same attributes and methods. But here you can see it is again wrote it as bake. But let me add icing, okay, which is the new method that we are calling it. So yes, cake1, add icing. So again, you made a chocolate cake of 1 kg worth of rupees 500 and the method should be icing. Isn't it more intuitive and easy to remember? This is the great part of this crash course. All the definitions are in very easy, simple language in English, and the real-time example plus code snippets are totally understandable. If someone write it on pen paper once and twice, he will never forget until his interview is not done. Isn't it? So yeah. Now let's talk about the main part of pillars. Okay, 4 pillars of OOP, object-oriented programming. One of them is encapsulation, which is most of the time famous. And again, I love to tell about this crash course because I went through many times like to read it because I started loving it. And I personally use this before any time when I need to teach or I need to go in webinars. I always go through these notes. Great, because I loving it. The best part is the example that most of the crowd use whenever they explain these pillars is not here. Okay, in this particular thing, you will get a new sets of examples, which will help you to stay out of the crowd, not inside the crowd. So if you say these definitions plus real-time example, then definitely interviewer will be impressed because you are not from the crowd who is taking the example of capsules or anything else. Okay, so let's begin with the definition. Encapsulation is the concept of wrapping data. What do you mean by wrapping data? It's just like in your childhood, you maybe went to any friend's birthday where you are gifting one pencil, then you have one pen, then you have one instrument box. So you will club together, tape it up, then you might have wrap it with a gift paper. So you wrapped everything in a single unit. Okay, so you can take it as an encapsulation example. So now all attributes and the methods that operate on the data into a single unit. Very easy. Everything like methods, attributes that are operate on the data, like whatever operation has been built, the methods and attributes are wrapped in a single unit is called as encapsulation, so that you can restrict the direct access of some object component. Okay, so that the privacy security would be maintained. So the best example, the real life example, which definitely you saw in your life or it may be in your home room, is this: imagine a safe box where valuables, what are valuables? Either the cash or your jewelry or car keys or bike keys, anything that you love to put in locker is the same example. So imagine a safe box where valuables, which is act as an attributes, are stored. So you can only access the content using key. Okay, key is a method to unlock this safe box. Yes, so if you have key, you can unwrap the encapsulation, otherwise it will be wrapped. All the valuables will be inside your locker or safe box. So yes, without key, you can't access in another manner. Okay, so let's see the code snippet, which is safe box has attributes of a combination code. Okay, and the public method is open safe and change code. If you have key, you can open the safe, otherwise you can close the safe. That's it. Otherwise, no options are there. You can't unwrap the particular single unit. Great. And for CPP, Java, Python, you know you need to visit primecoding.in. Now let's hop on Abstraction. Great. Now we'll hop from the car example. Okay, most of the time I mentored 200 to 300 candidates till now. Most of the time people say car has a brake, clutch, gear. These are very old town, okay, old school examples. Now onwards, please use these examples if you are coming in the mock interviews, and if you say this, I would be very happy. Great. So definition is, abstraction is a concept of hiding internal implementation. Okay, the internal implementation, like us, our internal implementation, such as heart is how it is being used, with how our lungs has been connected, everything has been abstract, no one can see details, and exposing only the essential feature of an object, like our eye. Only we can see, we don't know how it is working inside it, we just have a theoretical knowledge, but we can't create an eye again, isn't it? So internal implementation details and exposing only the essential features of an object. That's it. That is the simple definition of abstraction. Real life example will be, a coffee machine exposes a simple interface. You might, in any hackathons or in your college, you might have saw coffee machines, isn't it? There you have a button for coffee, latte, and anything, cappuccino, black tea or black coffee, much more, but hides the internal brewing process. If you don't know about brewing process is when you need to brew the coffee. Let's say you click on coffee, how your coffee is made inside that machine, you are not aware of. You just see your cup, everything has been poured, then you just take it and have a sip, isn't it? So this is the real-time example of abstraction, in a very easy and a very good real-time example. Let's see the pseudocode of it. Okay, so pseudocode says, coffee machine have a private method as brew coffee, which no one can see. It is hidden from the user, which is of no use. User doesn't bother about how actually the coffee machine is working. He is bothering for just make coffee. Let it be latte, let it be black coffee, let it be milk coffee, anything. Okay, so yes, this is the pretty good example. If you want full codes, just have a look on www.primecoding.in digital products, or you can see the description. Inheritance, which is the third pillar that we are on. Definition: inheritance is a mechanism where one child, okay, either you can call it as child or either you can call it as subclass, derives attributes and behavior from another class which is parent class. Just if you see yourself, you are inherit from your parents. Okay, so you are subclass and your parents are base class. Okay, so this is the difference, or I would say the definition of inheritance, where inheritance is a mechanism where one child, which is subclass, one child derives, which means it is being created, the derives attributes and behavior, like it is created, all the attributes and behavior has been taken from the parent class. So this is the very easy or intuitive thing. Now you might argue, what is a real-time example? Real-time example would be, a library class has a common attribute like books, methods for borrowing. Okay, you might ever go in your university, and if you love a book, you can just go to the librarian to issue that. He will take your information and right away issue to you. So the inheritance would be, all the mechanism has been set for hard copy of books. Why can't you use the same mechanism for ebooks? Isn't it? Everything would be happened online, and instead of providing the hard copy, you are providing the ebooks. Like you can see, a digital library class inherits from library but adds digital feature like ebooks. Same and simple as study real-time example, which will separate you from rest of the crowd. Great. So 4 pillars of OOP, which be, or in the 4 pillars of OOPs, let's hop over the types of inheritance. So type of inheritance and description, so that you have a quick glance properly. Okay, quick glance properly, which is single inheritance, multiple inheritance, multi-level inheritance, hierarchical inheritance, and hybrid inheritance. Now in the language that you love to do code, it may be C++, Java, Python, has own supportive inheritance. Some support something, some support something, some has other way to support something. So yes, you need to be careful about that. As this video contains 3 of the language together, the things that you study after this crash course, will be a little bit, okay, what supports your language, that's it. And rest of the thing which is common in 3 of the language will be taken care of, and the notes, everything has been cared off. Okay, so single inheritance. A class inherits from a single parent class, which name itself says only single parent is there, and only one class has been or subclass has been derived. So single inheritance. Okay, so multiple inheritance. A class inherits from more than one parent class. Okay, see, a class inherits more than one parent class, which means there are two parents, P1, P2, and it's been inherited with a child class. Okay, child class has two parent class. Great. Don't worry, I am on my commitment that I will show you the code snippet as well. So please be patient. This is just a glance, so that when we see the code snippet, we'll get to know these concepts very easily. Okay, so we talk about multiple, now multi-level inheritance. A class is derived from a class which is also derived from another class, which is totally some brain teaser definition, isn't it? But have patience. Let me read through, then we'll see one by one clearly. Hierarchical inheritance. Multiple classes inherit from a single parent class. So one parent class has multiple classes which is inherit. Okay. Hybrid inheritance. A combination of two or more types of inheritance. Two or more types of inheritance. It may be multiple, hierarchical, multiple, multi, single. So let's see each and every type clearly now. Real-time example of single inheritance. Imagine a smart lock system. What is smart lock system? It may be some digital lock which has password, or it may be which has fingerprint. It can be anything. Smart lock system. A basic lock class can be extended by smart lock class to add features like remote access and notification. So let's understand this with a coding example, which is class which is basic look. Basic look is, which means it is a simple lock where you need to put a key. Okay, so method is lock, method is unlock. Whether you can, if you twist your key, it will be locked, and if it is locked, it will be unlocked. Okay, but what you can do is, and as a single inheritance example, you can extend this feature as if you put some IoT device here, then you can make it digitalize. Okay, you can, remote unlock option is there where you can use your mobile to unlock your lock very easily. All the functionalities has been inherited. As you can see, the base class, let me clear my screen. As you can see, the base class is there, which is a parent class of this, isn't it? So smart lock inherits base class. Smart lock is a subclass. Method remote unlock has been created. All these methods would be used, and remote unlock method has been created. Okay, so this is a very easy example of single inheritance. Now talk about multiple inheritance. A flying car inherits property from both car and airplane. As a name states, flying car. So must have, let's say, okay, excuse for my drawing as my drawing is not good. Let's say this is a car, and car has also wings. Then it is called flying cars. So flying car, I can see there is wheels also. There are 4 wheels also. I can see the wings also. So this is the mixture of car and airplane. So in Python, multiple inheritance is not supported directly. So Python people, have a quick note of it. But in Java, C++, it's done using interfaces and mixing. Okay. Please, Java people, do let me know in the description why multiple inheritance is not supported, as well as the C++ people. Okay. So yeah. Now you can see the flying car here. The diagram has been there. So now let's check out the pseudocode example. So pseudocode example would be class car, method drive. Car will definitely have a default method which is drive. Any type of car it would be. It may be BMW, SUV, anything. We can drive it. Okay. So class airplane has fly, which means airplane will definitely fly. It will not crawl on roads for a long time, isn't it? So class flying car inherits car and airplane together, so that it will become flying car, our prototype. Okay. So yes, drive and fly the thing. This is the main motto of flying car. I hope this example will stay in your mind for long. Now, multi-level inheritance, which is real life example would be a university system where the university has department which has professor. multi-level. Name itself says they are multi-level. Great. So we have a university where we have a conduct exam as a function, or I would say as a method. Okay. So class department inherits university. So department is the first level. Okay. This is the first level. Okay. Let me remove this first level where the department class has been inherited by a university. Now I can see this logic. Now again, department. Now it is a second level where department has been used as a attribute where the professor will take the attributes which are present in department as well as those like in department we can see there is an organized classes, and professor is inheriting the traits from department so that he can teach. Now whatever subject or classes is organized in the department will be taught by this professor, isn't it? So two level of multi inheritance we saw just now. Department has been inheriting from university, professor has been inheriting from department. A very simple example, make a note of it. And if you look over the notes which is provided on the website, has these things in all language like Python, C++, Java. It may use inheritance, it may use interface to implement these conditions. Like multi-level is supported here, we don't need, but here the codes which are present in the notes contains everything properly to the point, so that if you wake up in the morning, you can revise it. If you go to sleep on the bed, you can revise it anywhere from anywhere. Great. So now let's talk about hierarchical inheritance. So this is the inheritance where we got confused in that table. You remember? Now, a vehicle class has subclass like car and bike. So vehicle is a parent class which has the trait of an automobile. Now automobile can either car or bike, is it? So which inherit common attributes. So what are the common attributes? Which is start. Either you can put it as start, either you can put it as fuel type, isn't it? Because either it will go like, okay, fuel type can't be because nowadays e-bikes or e-scooters are also there, which is electric. So the fuel would not want to be there. But yes, start is common in all of the ranges or categories of automobile. Now, car inherits from vehicle, which is drive. Now, for driving, you definitely need start. Now, bike inherits from vehicle. Now, in what happening in the multi-level, if you remember, university has been created, department will inherit from university. Now department will come here and processor will inherit from department, isn't it? But you can see here the parent is single, it is not changing like in multi-level. So car has been inheriting the property from vehicle, bike is inheriting the property from vehicle. Okay, both of the thing are, the car we can drive, bike we can also drive, but it more familiar with ride. Okay, we can ride a bike, we can drive a car, and these belongs to a vehicle class. So very fair definition of hierarchical inheritance. Let's talk about hybrid inheritance. So real life example would be a robot that can both walk and speak using property inherited from both walker and a speaker. Are you able to see? We are inheriting two classes to build a new class. Okay, or new feature, which is a walker. We are taking all the methods attribute present in this walker class to give the functionality to my robot, that my robot can walk, and we are giving all the traits, methods, property present in my speaker into my robot so that my robot can speak properly like a speaker, is it? So yes. Now, if you see the definition, the table that we created, which is a combination of two or more types of inheritance. So we have inheriting the property of walker, speaker to build my robot properly. So this is the best example. Now let's have a note, because most of the time in the interview, people are not aware of which type of inheritance has been supported by their favorite language. Okay, so yes, hybrid inheritance is not directly supported in Java, C++ due to complexity and a diamond problem. I hope you guys know about the diamond problem. Diamond problem is look like this, where this is a main parent class, this is main parent class, this is two subclasses. Because this issue, it faced the diamond problem. And I gave you the homework as well. Please let me know in the comment section why Java not supports multiple programming. And please guys, make a note of it. If you are from CSC or ECE, please study in all of the at least two languages, that is C++ and Java. Okay, if you are from C++, do study in Java too. If you're Java, please do study in C++ too. Because in the interview, they might ask you from different languages. It may be Python, it may be C++, any OOPS concept. So you should be able to speak, because nowadays they are asking, okay, if you see continuously watching my interview series, you will get to know that which type of question is actually coming in the market, so that you will be up to date. And this notes and this crash course has been updated with that particular fashion. Okay, so yes, C++, but can be achieved using interfaces or virtual functions. So if you talk about C++, you can implement virtual function. If you talk about interfaces, you can use in Java, because interfaces is not supported by C++. Now great, let's talk about the pseudocode of hybrid inheritance, okay, which is walker class has been there, speaker class is there, where speak and walk is there. Now robot, which is inheriting from two classes, which is walker and speaker. Now def perform, please walk and speak. Now my robot becomes chitty chitty robot. Great. So robot dot perform, and he will speak and he will walk properly. So very great example to understand. And I hope with the Chitti robo, which is most of the famous robo that we all know, or the Ravan, is made by inheriting two of the classes together. It is a hybrid inheritance example. And yes, after implementing this, your robo will become any of the best robo that you feel good. Okay, so now, if you are enjoying till now, if you believe, yes, all the notes are very simple, it has real-time example, code snippet, which no one can provide you in the free content. Everyone will give you in the paid content, isn't it? I was also thinking to provide this in the paid content, but I believe it all belongs to you, because you should study these things for free. That's it, for free. That's why Prime Coding is there on the YouTube channel to support, because these types of content takes a lot of efforts, guys. It's a lot of efforts. So do subscribe the channel, okay, if you have not, because it's totally look unfair that you come on to my channel. I welcomed you very pleasantly, telling you about all the examples properly, explaining you the concepts properly. So I do expect a subscribe button, okay? It will not cost you anything. I can sell this particular thing for 100 or 200 or 300 rupees straight. But no, I am providing it for free. You just need to subscribe it. It's a humble request. Like this video, okay? And comment down the homeworks that I'm giving to you, okay? Why I'm telling you is, if this video hits like 200, 300, 400, 500, any likes, because it is easy to hit 500 likes, very easy to hit 500 likes, because each one of you, if you're watching and if you're understanding this and you want all this free content to coming up, because I will gonna upload OS content, CN content and DBMS content, SQL content. So you want all this for free on the YouTube, just a simple fees. Like this video and comment down below, sir, I am watching, I am loving it, I am getting it, your notes quality is totally fantastic, please move forward. These types of content will motivate me, and I will put everything on this channel for free. So please, for me, do this, subscribe, like, comment, okay, so that I will keep on track, put everything, whatever I know, whatever I can gather. Now let's begin with polymorphism example, which is definition. Polymorphism allows method to be used in different forms. Now, as everyone knows about polymorphism, poly means many shapes can take according to the context. So polymorphism allows method to be used in different forms. What different forms? Because it has two types, we'll discuss. It is achieved through method overloading, one type, and method overriding, which is another type. Okay, so polymorphism allows method to be used in different forms. I hope I read thrice, and once it fits into your mind, you will never forget. So method overloading and method overriding are the two types. So let's talk about that, which is types. Types are compile time and run time. Okay, please, in interview, people do mention only method overloading and overriding example, but don't say like compile time, which is also called as method overloading. Runtime, which is also called as method overriding. In this manner, do speak in your interview too. The way I wrote, you need to follow the same pattern. not other than that. Okay, so multiple methods with the same name but different parameters. Okay, and runtime will be a subclass provide a specific implementation of a method defined in its parent class. A subclass provides a specific implementation. There is a specific set of implementation in method overriding of a method defined in its whichever the parent class it has. Stay calm. I will show you the real-time example as well. Okay, so the real-time example, which is a music player can play songs, which we all know. A player can easily play song of multiple. Let's say it is a cassette based or pen drive based. It can play any type of song if you have those drivers supported. Let it be MP3, WAV, and FLAC. So it may play different formats like MP3, WAV, FLAC using the same method. And guys, whenever you saw those words which you are not aware of, please try to make note of it. Go on internet and search that. Then this is the particular method to make your study covered all the aspects. Because let's say you understand polymorphism and you set the real-time example as wave. Now you don't know the full form of waves, waveform audio files. You should know these things very clearly because these are the very basics that interviewer do take out in the interview and do ask you anywhere. Okay, so yeah, multiplayer can support anything as per the different context it can run. You need to just download a music player driver. It can either learn MP3, WAV, or FLAC file easily. So let's see the example, which is class music player method plays sound file. Now we have a only single class. Okay, now here we are inheriting advanced music player, which is play video file. Now it may be from different file format. It will be played. Great. So now for notes, in detail notes, you can head on to www.primecoding.in. Now definition of method overloading and method overriding. Let's begin with method overload, which is compile time polymorphism, defining multiple methods in the same class. Okay, you have multiple methods like one and multiple like add. There are multiple methods, the same class with the same name, which means you have the same, as I told, you have public add, many times, multiple methods in the same class with the same name, but different parameter. Same but different type of kind. Okay, so method overriding is runtime polymorphism when the subclass redefines, which means you have something in your parent class and it is being redefined. The method is same in the subclass too, but the method has been redefined. We will definitely see the code snippet, but try to understand in a theoretical manner. So a method from its superclass with the same signature is same, function name is same, but the definition has been changed. We'll see the proper example. So real life example of imagine a smart door. So method overloading is the door can be opened using key, password, fingerprint. What is common? Common is opening the door. Open door is the common stuff. Now it is upon you what mode of unlocking you are using. Key is the method, password is a method, fingerprint is a method, and both has the same work, which is open door. Method overriding, different type of door, which is manually, automatic, have different way to open. So this is the thing, whether in the common thing is open door, but the signature are changed. If you use manual, you need to twist the keys, and if you use automatic, you just need to stand, it will automatically open. So signature are different, but the methods are same. This is a real-time example of method overriding and method overloading. Let's talk about the pseudocode of example. Okay, so class role. So method take off height and speed. What I can see, this is takeoff is same, but the argument has been changed. So let's check. What is the definition suits? I can see the multiple methods in the same class. Okay, multiple methods in the same class and the same name but different parameters, this is an overloading, method overloading example. Same name, different signatures done. Print off to the height has been printed. Taking off the height has been printed. So drone object is being created. I hope you know right now, you know about the drone or object. Object is drone here, which can use any methods, any attribute which is present in the drone, because it is an instance of a class. Okay, so drone can take off 10 height. That height has been given to the 10 meter, and drone can take off 10 to 10 meter with 5 speed. Okay, so this has been there. This is an overloading example. You can see calls the first method, calls the overload method. If you take the notes there in C++, Java, Python, everything has been mentioned clearly. Okay, now let's talk about overriding. As we previously talked about overloading, here we talk about overriding. Now class electric appliance, which is a parent class. Okay, method which is turn on, which is turning on appliances. All electrical appliances will definitely turn on if you click on turning on options. Okay, so class smart light, which is subclass, which is inheriting from electric appliances, or it would be better if I point here. Okay, electric appliances, where all the functionality of electrical appliances as with smart light now. So electrical appliances has been there. Now override method turn on, which means the same functions is there, but the signature has been changed. What signature means is, you can see turn on. What is the body here? Body here is turning on appliance, but here I change the signature as turning on smart light using voice command. You are inheriting all the properties from parent class, but you changed the signature. The method's name would be same, the signature would be different. This is the overriding in a simple terminology. Object appliance, electrical appliance has been created, which is appliance is an object of electric appliances. Appliance turn on will print turning on application. Smart light, which is a subclass which is inherited from electric appliance. If you call smart light, it will call as turn on smart light using voice command. If you see this notes, you will get in multiple languages with different examples probably. Now let's talk about constructor and destructors. These questions, whenever asked to candidate, they are totally blank, because they know what is it actually, but they are not able to frame the right response. But after this crash course, I believe most of the explanations would be fit inside the minds of candidates who are appearing for their upcoming interviews. So let's begin with the definition. Constructor, a special method called when an object is created to initialize it. If you initialize object for any respective class, this constructor, if it is present in that function or class, it will call automatically. This is a basic example of explanation of constructor. Destructor, which is a brother of constructor, a method that is called automatically when an object is destroyed. If you call delete, destructor has been called, and the memory which was allocated for that class has been destroyed, or the whole stuff would be destroyed. So not the commonly used in Python and Java, but essential in C++. This is a quick note from this. Real-time example. When you move into a new apartment, see how well we wrote the real-time example. Constructor, you set up your furniture and appliances, whether that apartment is on rent or is on you bought that particular flat. So first thing which is automatically called is, can you bring sofas, TVs, fridge, beds, geyser, and these basic default appliances in my home? Then only you can be there for a week properly, isn't that? So all the furniture would be there. And the same thing happens when you leave that particular flat or you sold that particular flat. Everything, whatever you brought, either you will sell it, otherwise you will shift it to the new place. This is the real-time example of constructor and destructor. Isn't it more interesting and easy to remember? If you write this on the paper, believe me, you will not forget, because these are the things which you will definitely saw in your real life. Okay, so now let's talk about the vending machine pseudocode example, because this crash course has pseudocode for sure. But then only this will be a one-stop solution for your interview, because in interview you don't know for which oops concept they will tell you to write the code. Constructor, where items and prices are there. Print initializing vending machine. Self dot items, set self.price. Okay, this is set. So set self.prices as prices. So these are the methods. These are the attributes that we are initializing, which we can use throughout the class. And vending machine loaded with self.items. Great. So object has been created, object machine has been created. As this machine has created, all these info that it is coming to this vending machine class has been automatically filled and initialized by the vending machine, and the quantity would be, or the machine loaded with the items, and it will put everything in a dispensary where you can take it. So this is the real-time example of a constructor thing. Okay. Now let's talk about destructor. Okay. So printer 3D, constructor print 3D printer connected to power, destructor print disconnecting 3D printer from power. Object printer is printer 3D, that the printer object has been created for printer 3D class. Delete printer disconnecting 3D printer from power, which means the memory which was allocated has been terminated, and your printer, in the terms of printer example, the printer has been disconnected. Simple. So now, access modifier, public, private, protected. Now in C++ and Java, these things are very clear because we have a particular keyword associated for every modifier. But in Python, you should know how to put or how to initialize public variable, private variable, protected variable. So this is a homework for you Python guys. Okay, Py guys, please do know how you can initialize a private and protected and public member or attribute in a class properly. Very easy. If you put some underscore or underscore something like Aditya, it has been created as protected. It has been treated as protected first of all. Okay. So yes, there are a few sets that you need to go through. So accessible everywhere description. Okay. Public accessible for everywhere. Method that need global access. It may be you need to put something which should be available for globally. Now private, accessible only within the class. Outside the class, you can't use any of the methods which is specified with private modifier. Sensitive data like password or bank amount detail, anything that you believe should be confidential, will be using access modifier as private. Protected, accessible within the class and the subclass. Subclasses, which means the classes which was inheriting from the parent class. So if the parent class has the methods which is initialized with protected, those can be accessible in the subclasses as well. So method used by derived classes. Totally fair, and we got whole intuition of access modifiers too. Now let's talk about the abstract classes and interfaces. Now this is the most common interview question. Whether you are from CPP, Java, Python, you should not tell, sir, we don't have abstract support in my favorite language, I don't know. You should know. That's why I am telling you the basic definition that you should be able to speak irrespective of your favorite programming language. Now let's talk about the abstract class. A class that a class that cannot be instantiated and may contain abstract method. Okay, so the method without implementation in short, which I hope most of the people would remember. Abstract class is a method which doesn't have any implementation. It's just an empty body. Okay, so a class that cannot be instantiated may contain the abstract method, which has not been reinitialized again. It should be only once and should not have the body, called as abstract class. Interface, a contract that defines method that must be implemented by any class that uses it. So any class, if they use interface, all the methods and methods implementation should be incorporated. So interface topic is only in Java only concept. Okay, so real-time example is, imagine a blueprint for a building. The blueprint is an abstract class because it cannot be built directly. Okay, whatever blueprint is, let's say a blueprint of a building. Okay, it is done by the architect. Now it can't be created in a single day. You need to have a full labor force, then only will build a particular building, isn't it? So the actual building, house, apartment are concrete implementation of the abstract in the interface real-time examples. Great. So now let's talk about the static members. Static variables are class level variables shared among all the instances of the classes. Great. What is static variables? Class level variables, which means the variables which is present at the class level shared along with all instances of class, which is all. What is instance? Instance is an object of the class. Everything has been shared with the instance is known as static variables. Static methods that can be called without creating an instance of the class. Without creating an instance of the class, if you are able to call those methods, like in Java, is a simple mechanism. If you put some static method, you can totally access it without using any instance of a class or without creating any object. Okay, so real life example: imagine a school where the number of students is common to all classroom. Okay, like 60, 60, 60, 60. It is common throughout the class. It could not be changed until unless no one is taking TC or no one is get detained. Great. Now let's talk about final keyword. So final keyword in Java, final is used to prevent modification. Like if you set a final word as final is equal to, it is of 100 marks. Now no one can change it from any of the function calls. It will remain as 100 only, because it doesn't make any sense to change the highest mark as possible. So final variable cannot change the value after initialization in the code. Final method cannot be overridden by any class, subclass, which is child classes. Okay, final class cannot be inherited. If you have a final class, you can't make any subclass, or you can apply inheritance property there. So this could be a MCQ. If you have a final class, can you inherit those functionality, or can you let me know the keyword if you use, so that your class could not be used by any subclasses? This is the way typically the type of MCQ has been built. If you know all the topics clearly till the root, you will be able to mark all the options correctly in a very less time. So real life example: think of a national monument. Once built, it cannot be modified or demolished. Okay, simple as that. Any monument like Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, it has been created. Now no one can destroy it. If destroyed, it can't be made again in a single day. It will again take much of crores rupees, and it takes long time to rebuild it again. Great. So now let's talk about struct versus classes in C++. Those topics where I wrote C++, here I mentioned Java, these types of things have been mostly asked in the interview, irrespective of your favorite language. So you should know whatever question has been asked to you belongs to which particular language is mentioned properly. So definition, which is struct, by default members are public. Okay, struct by default is public. These types of MCQ I personally marked many times, so definitely you have also marked this many times. Class, by default member are private. Okay, if you not specify the access modifier in the class, it is by default private. Okay, so real life example: think of a struct as a newspaper where every section data is public and visible. Is it? Every segment of the paper are visible to users. A class is like a logged diary where you need permission method to access its content. Okay, class, like in the childhood you might bought a diary which operates with a key. If you open the key, then you can write it, or you can set it to your loved ones if you remember. So a class is a logged diary. If the person doesn't have any permission to access that diary, no one can access it. I hope you got the intuition of this. So guys, definitely do check about Hito platform too. It will help you to find good amount of mentors having great experience in IT, a company which will help you, which will guide you to get mentorship and how you can crack upcoming off-campus opportunities. Okay, for that, how Hito works. As you can see on the screen, you will get a prompt where you need to write a prompt looking for a top-rated affordable mentor with experience cracking major tech companies. You can mention these companies, which is totally a dream company for most of us. Then the Hito asks you, what is your budget? You need to tell, my budget is this much. So it will recommend you few profiles. So if you click on any of the profile, you will get into that creator profile. You can see helping crack to interviews, SDE2, which is a great position in a big product based company. So you can book a one-to-one mock session. And do you need to pay $499? No, you don't need to pay $499, because I have a coupon code for you. Like, you just need to add Aditya 10 and you will get straight 10% discount on this particular order. Okay, so you just need to go and click on this order worth of rupees 499 of offer. You will get only in 280. Like mentorship in just in 299, you will get it in just 280 rupees. Isn't it interesting? So without wasting time, find your mentor now and get the good guidance and crack the bigger company as compared to the service-based company. The link would be in the description. The coupon code is also there in the description. Do book your session. Now, friend function in C++. Definition. Most of the time has been asked. A friend function is a function that has access to the private protected member of a class. Friend function has the access of private protected members, which is the important thing, because if you initialize any private attribute, it would be accessible only in the class. And if you have a protected, it will be accessible by the derived class as well. So the friend function is the only function which can access either the private class or a protected members of a class. Okay, which is make it popular. A real life example, which is think of a trusted repairman who can enter your house, because you can't directly invite someone who doesn't have any qualification and doesn't have any proper attire. So that you should have a trust on him, so that yes, you know the contractor or you know the urban company, then only you will allow that person because you have a trust on it. Okay, so the access private area, but it is not a family member, then not a part of a class. Okay, so this is the typical and easy formation of a friend function. Please make a note of it. Most of the time has been asked. Operator overloading. Now, what is operator overloading? It is stack type of operator? No, it is operator overloading allows to redefine how operator work with user defined types. Whatever user has been defining in the methods, how these operator works states by operator overloading. Okay, so the real-time example are overloading the type of plus operator for a vector class to add two vectors. Let's say you have a vector 1, vector 2. If you plus add, let's say you have vector 1 which has 1, 2, 3, and you have vector 2 which has 4, 5, 6. If you club it together, it becomes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is the formation of a vector class. If to add two vector class, you can use 2 plus method. Okay, it may be vector, as I told, it may be any vector that you believe. Now, anonymous object in C++. Yes, I got it from multiple sites as well. That's why I mentioned in this particular notes, which is an anonymous object is a temporary object created without assigning it to a variable. Okay, it is just an anonymous. No other outside the functional class knows about this object. It's a temporary object which is just used for a second to get your operation done. That's object called anonymous objects. Now, this keyword is most important. This keyword reference in Java, which is definition. This keyword refers to the current object instance. Yes, this keyword refers to the current object. Whatever object that you are currently on in the code will be denoted by this current keyword. It's like saying I am referring to myself. Okay, so now this reference in Java, this keywords refer in Java to the current object instance, as I told, myself. Now, static data members and methods. Static data, we already spoke. Static members belong to the class, not the individual instance. Okay, a university where all students share a common registration number, or a class who shares the same quantity of students, are the example of a static data members and methods. Okay, final keyword, we already spoke about final keyword. There are final method, final key, and final method, key, and class. Okay, we already spoke about it. So super keyword in Java. The super keyword refers to the super class. If you have a parent class and you want to access few functions attributes from the subclass, then you can take use of super or call any of the method that you want to. It will be called from the parent class, and those functionality you can use it. So think of it inheriting a family heirloom and using it in your own house. Okay, something that you brought, or inheriting a family heirloom and using it in your own house. Great. So this is a real-time example. As simple keywords that we are currently talking about. Abstract class versus interface in Java. Simple, quick revision. Okay. Methods is can have abstract and concrete methods. Okay. That abstract class is typically an empty body class and can only have an abstract method before Java 8. Multiple inheritance not supported, and using interface it is supported. Access modifier in terms of Java I'm talking about. Okay, can we have any access modifier? Like in abstract you can have access modifier easily, but methods are public by default in interface in the terms of Java. Now, solid principle. Yes, this is the most important thing. Most of the people do ignore studying this, but it has most importance in whole OOPS concept because it states how actually OOPS work. So the solid principles are set of guidelines that help in designing software that is easy to maintain, extend, and understand. Okay, this is a set of rules which will help you to design your software that is easy to maintain and extend and understand. Great. So let's talk about S. S stands for single responsibility. This is the quick table which is made for just for revision purpose. But yes, we'll see each and every type properly with a real-time example. So a class should have one and only one reason to change. Okay, it should have only one responsibility. It should not have multiple responsibility associated with a class. O, which is open or closed principle, which is class should be open for extension but closed for modification. Okay, let's say you have a parent class. It doesn't make sense that you can change using subclass calls and stuff. It should be constant, like it is open for extension, which means it is open for like pairing up or subclass definitions. It is open for that, but it is closed for modification. Great. So L is Liskov substitution. Subtypes must be substitutable, okay, which means you can interchange for their base types without altering behavior of the class. Interface segregation. Client should not be forced to depend on interface do not use. Okay, like clients, whoever client is not be forced or to depend on the interface. Whatever interface that you built, the client should not be get forced to use that particular interface, or they do not use that particular thing. Okay, so the dependency inversion. Okay, this, if you believe that okay, these quick things is not sitting into your mind, not an issue. I will let you know the code snippet as well as the real-time example, which will fix into your mind very easily. So high-level modules should not depend on low-level modules. Okay, so the high-level modules, if it depends upon low-level modules, the quality would be degraded. Should not depend on low-level modules, but both should depend upon abstraction. Great. So dependency inversion is the high level should not depend upon the low-level modules, but both should support the abstraction. Simple as layman language. Now, let's talk about SRP first. Single responsibility principle. Let's take a real-time example. Imagine a chef who specializes only in cooking. As the single responsibility states, the class should do only one and only work responsibility to. If the chef is also handling billing, cleaning, and it leads to insufficiency, isn't it? If chef has a speciality to cook food, so it is better to leave him in the kitchen. If you tell him to create bills, clean the restaurant, then it would be a tedious job for him and his quality will not come in the food creation. So the thing which suits to a person, do the same task. Now, class chef, which is method cook, is the default class that chef loves to do. Class cleaner, clean, billing, generate invoice, which means every class should have the one and only responsibility to do, which will distinguish from multiple classes or multiple conflicts, and it will also run fast. Okay, so now real life example, a printer that support additional format. Okay, talking about OCP, which is open close principle, PDF docs without changing the original code. A printer that supports the additional format. Okay, like a printer can print, like printer needs to print an instruction which is coming from the user, like let's say printer docs, let's say print a PDF. So user is giving instruction to the printer, it should print without watching or without detecting any of the for file format, isn't it? If it detects the file format and not able to execute, then it doesn't make any sense. So yes, class document def print self will pass. Okay, which means a simple print function has been there. If it has been called, just pass it. Nothing, no, not to do anything. Now PDF document is being inherited from document where printing PDF document. Word document is been inheriting from this. So which type of inheritance it is? I hope you remember. I hope you totally remember. As the parent are totally same. We are not, if you remember in multi-inheritance, what was happening? The inheriting. Do let me know with a timestamp. Do let me know what type of inheritance it is. Okay, I will definitely reply you if you are right. So yes, document will be there. Print document dot print. It will be printed in the particular document without noticing about the format. Whatever format we have, we call the particular methods or the respective class, which will print my document without any problems. So print document, PDF document has been printed, and Word document has been printed. For nodes in C++, Java, Python codes, you can totally have primecoding.in. And not only this, it has many things associated with it. Many things. Okay, you believe if you name it, you will get an in detail notes in 3 of the languages, mentioned everything properly, clearly with real-time examples and in simple English letters. So this is a must take. Liskov substitution principle, which is LSP, what it means. Name is very fancy though. Real life example, if a bird can fly, then a subclass sparrow should also be able to fly, because both belong to the same bird family. However, if we create a subclass penguin which cannot fly, it violates the Liskov substitution principle, which means where the violation has been there, the class work should not be stopped. It should work properly. You should give an exception. What you can see in the code, we are raising the exception for the bird. Class bird has a fly object as default because bird has a functionality to fly. So bird is flying. Now you sparrow can also fly. So yes, fly has been taken the same signature, same class name. Okay, so print sparrow is flying. Penguin, raise exception that penguin is a bird but it can't fly. Make bird fly, bird fly, and yes, bird sparrow, bird penguin. In the penguin, it will throw the exception that penguin can't fly. Great. Now, interface segregation principle, which is ISP. Now let's talk about the ISP. Okay, so real life example of ISP, which is a smartphone that can be used for calling, messaging, browsing, isn't it? The 3 basic uses. If you are not that a mobile freak who use most of the stuffs in mobiles. However, a basic feature phone only needs to implement calling and messaging features. Great. So class phone is def call self pass has been done. Now class smartphone, which is being inheriting the parent class functionality, def browse self, which means the call feature is there and the mobile user can either browse as to. So basic phone, which is phone, the parent class has been called. Smartphone, which is smartphone, has been done. So great. Smartphone dot browse, which is browsing internet, which totally make sense, isn't it? Which looks pretty well example, which is a phone. We keep on inheriting the stuffs in the smartphone too. All the functionalities has been done, where the phone is just a keypad phone where you can just either call because it's hard to browse, but smartphone can inherit all the properties from the old era phones and apply the browse facility, and whatever facility that you like to, you can append it here. You are free to it. So yes, this is an interface segregation principle, ISP. Now dependency inversion, which is DIP. A remote control should work with a TV, LED, LCD. Okay, remote should not be specific to the model. It should work with everything. Typically, in a hypothetical condition, I'm talking about, so rather than being tightly coupled with the specific model. How it could be? You have a class TV, def, turn on, self. Then you have a class Samsung TV where this TV has been incorporated here, okay, which means has been inheriting. Samsung TV has been inheriting the turn on button. So turn on is the same. So turn on TV there. But as you can see, this is an overriding. If you remember, is it in here? The signatures are same. The function names are same, but signature has been deferred, isn't it? So yes, Samsung is in TV. Now self.tv, press tv.turn on button. Your button has been turned on. Irrespective of the model, you built a TV class, has been keep on inheriting the property of parent class in a subclass, and you are able to turn it on, turn it off of any kind of model. It is a dependency inversion principle, a real-time example we can feel for the C++, Java, Python code. And for revised division notes, you can totally go on www.primecoding.in and you are done. Now, common design patterns, okay, because most of the people should know how you can design the things. These are the stuffs, okay, these are the important stuffs, then only I am talking about. Otherwise, why I will increase the video length, isn't it? So singleton pattern, which is ensure that a class has only one instance and provides a global point of access to it. Okay, see, ensure that a class has only one instance, which is only one object, and provides all global point access to it, which means as simple as class states, all the functionality of the class like methods or attributes would be accessible by only one instance. Totally fine. Real-time example, a government depends where only one head can be disappointed at a time. Great. So singleton pattern, which is ensure that a class has only one instance and provide a global point access to it, as we studied. But real-time example which suits well, which is a government department. You can see a database connection. Okay, this is a part where you can use this signature pattern. There is a protected. Okay, this is a protected way in the Python that we can write. Instance none has been there. Now get instance. So if this instance has been filled with any URL which will help you to connect with your database, and it has been filled, then you just need to return the database connection. Otherwise, you need to reinitialize the instance. So this is the way you can take use of singleton pattern. So connect self, connecting to database, not disconnecting from database too. Okay, which looks pretty fantastic, isn't it? Instance, then none, then class variable to store the single instance. Now get instance, database. A very intuitive code. If instance is none, please create the instance and creating new database connection instance. Otherwise, return the database connection instance if this value is not null, which means it's already stored a URL. Okay, you can use this in a real time. If you are writing code in Python, C++, Java, and you're connecting your, let's say, MongoDB, you can use this class, which will give you a real-time intuitive knowledge too. Okay, so this is a singleton pattern. Now factory pattern, used to create object without specifying the exact class. Okay, you're creating objects, but the class specification is not been done. How? A car factory that produce different types of cars like SUV, sedan, etc. based on demand. It doesn't based on, okay, let's say Thar Rocks has been launched, but whoever bought has been regretting now. So as per the demand, if Mahindra think, okay, Rocks has demanded, so they will build that function or call it again. Otherwise, they will stop. How? You can see there's a car function has been called. Now, if demands for SUV, the SUV car has been built. If sedan car has been built. Okay. Now let's check out. Create car type. If car type, which just came as a request, if car type is SUV, please call up the function of SUV and build it. Car type sedan, please call up the sedan function and build that particular car. As you can see, driving SUV, driving sedan, as per the user point. Great. So you can see the nodes present in the www.primecoding.in. Observer pattern defines a subscription mechanism to notify multiple objects about any changes in the state of the subject. Okay, defines a subscription mechanism. I hope you know about subscription, like taking the channel subscription or taking any paid Netflix subscription. Notify multiple objects about any changes. If you, let's say, if you took the subscription of any YouTube channel of worth of rupees 1100, so you will get access to multiple things that creator is providing for the tier-based subscription. Let's say tier 3 subscription, or tier 3, tier 2, tier 1. Okay, let's say tier 3, which is most expensive, let's say $3,000, and there is tier 1 and tier 2 too, which is like $1,000 and $2,000. Okay, so if someone bought it for 3,000, it should notify to all instance that yes, this guy should access for all of the tier solutions. So a newsletter subscription where user get notified of all the updates, whatever going in the content, just like an in shorts. Okay, so let's see the subscriber and a publisher method, isn't it, which most of the time in IoT based systems we usually see, and in the big data or the sensor based data, subscriber who have subscribed to that particular channel or message, like you subscribe to Prime Coding, then you are able to watch this crash course without wasting time. So yes, update self message, which is print received message. Publisher sub.subscribers. This is a list which contains all these subscribers who subscribed this particular channel. Now subscriber.append subscriber, if someone recently subscribed, it will be appended into this global link and notify. Subscriber in self-certify, this subscriber.update the message is yes, the crash course video has been popped. Now your task is to like, subscribe, share with your friends so that your friend can also read about it. So publisher subscriber 1 subscribe, publisher dot subscribe.subscriber 1. So you can see publisher dot subscribe 1. So it has been appended into it. Now publisher dot notify. Now whole new update is available. The subscribers who subscribe to the particular publisher has been notified with a new update available. Okay, so I hope you got the pretty good intuition. It's just a simple intuition of just like a YouTube video. When you click on subscribe button, you will get the channel new video on your home screen. Then only you will get to know that, and it has been published to all the subscribers so that they can watch it and get the knowledge of it. So now try catch blocks, which is one of the important topics asked in the companies. Okay, definition, which is handles runtime errors gracefully without crashing the program. Okay, because if you put on try catch, if anytime your code found some bugs or any error, your code won't get stuck. It will show, okay, here it is got triggered, it is an error, but the rest of the tasks will start working. It will not stop. So yes, num int num, enter num and square of num to num. If you provide any input value which is not a num, it will tell you please enter a number. It will not stop. Again it will come and you need to press a right number to make it run or to find the square of a num. Okay, so yeah, you can find the code snippet on Prime Coding. Custom exception, which is definition. Create user-defined exception for handling specific errors. Great. So real life example would be a banking system that raises an exception in a withdrawal amount exceeds the balance. Okay, which is totally fantastic about the custom exception, where you can put the custom message also, like a banking, like real-time example is a banking system that raises an exception if a withdrawal amount exceeds the balance. Let's say you have a balance of 50 rupees and you want to withdraw 10,000 rupees. It will definitely throw an exception. With personalized expression, you only have 50 rupees and you are taking out 10,000, which is exceeding your current saving account balance. So please either change your amount or get more amount in your bank. Okay, so this is the particular custom exceptions that you can create. So custom exception examples you can see. This is try catch. Okay, try catch withdrawal 1500 insufficient funds as exception. Please return the same exception in the code. You can have a quick look on the code. Insufficient exception, where you build an exception where it constructor has been made super where the exception class has been called from the parent class. Now we can use the constructor of a super class where attempted to withdraw amount but balance is this much. You will get the custom exception message. Okay, I hope you got this particular thing, which is fantastic to see. And there is a withdrawal where if the operation has been done, the withdrawal will be there. If the amount is greater than self balance, this custom insufficient funds exception would be raised. Otherwise it will run properly. Okay, now talk about the garbage collection. Garbage collection is an automatic memory management technique used by the languages like Java, Python to reclaim the memory that is no longer in use, preventing memory leaks. Which means in Java, Python, there may be some times that you build some arrays, some typical variables, but that variable has been used, but they still grab some memory in your code, which is totally not required. So what you can do, you can remove those garbage present in your code, isn't it? So you can do some hard coding where you can totally remove the garbage collection from your code snippets. So real-time example, imagine you are cleaning your desk. If you don't throw away old unnecessary paper garbage, your desk will soon be cluttered and unusable. Similarly, garbage collection cleans up unused memory so your program can run efficiently. Because if you have some variable, let's say if you have an array which continuously stores value and you are not using it in any other function or in any other way, then that is of no use, isn't it? It will not do anything and it will simply capture some memory space. And if you talk about in real life companies, they do focus in this particular conditions a lot, because a single KB has been misused, they will put up a red message that you need to take care of this, why it is being used unnecessarily, because every request has cost associated with the server. As you can see, method delete will book is deleted, which is hard coded. You can see hard coded. If we call delete book, the book will be deleted totally. Now, manual memory management definition. In languages like C++, developer manually allocate new and deallocate delete memory. The typical example is C. You can totally use malloc to allocate memory in your memory, isn't it? And delocate memory. That gives more control but increase the risk of memory leaks if it is not handled properly. Most of the time it's been happened, like if you like sometimes you called many times calloc, but you have not appended the value inside the correct location, and you start facing the memory leaks issue. Okay, your memory has been initialized, but no information has been filled. So yeah, this is the problem. Real life example, imagine renting a storage unit. You need to inform the storage company when you are done with it, or else you will keep getting charged memory leak. Okay, let's read if you are not able to. Imagine renting a storage unit. Let's say you have a warehouse where you have a storage unit. You need to inform the storage company when you are done with it, or else you will keep getting the charge. Is it when, let's say you put some hay or any animal food and your food is done, your storage has been empty, you need to notify the renter or the owner that I'm not using your warehouse now. Please don't include this. Just like in AWS, the much you will use, it will pay that much amount you need to pay. If you don't use, no money you should supposed to pay. The same case applies in manual memory management, or in AWS, manual call management. Number of calls increase the number of money. If you do reduce the calls, the reducer money you need to pay. File handling. The way you need to handle files in memory, we'll talk it here. Reading and writing files with a definition. File handlings involve reading from and writing to files on the system from data storage and retrieval format, which totally makes sense. If you are able to write somewhere, you should be able to get or fetch all details from somewhere, isn't it? So real-time example, thinking of a reading from a file like borrowing a book from a library, and writing to a file like adding a new entry in a journal. You bought a book and you put something in your journal. This is a simple. You read from the book, you throw it in your journal. It's a file handling stuff. Fetching it, writing it. Okay. Now, serialization and deserialization. One of the hottest topic which is mostly asked in TCS NQT and few of the times in Accenture interviews too, if you are from Java totally. Serialization is converting an object into a byte stream for a storage or a transmission, because in the network everything has been done in either in packets or either in bytes. So serialization will help you to do the byte stream transmissions. Okay. And deserialization converting, because you converted, let's say Aditya has been converted into byte stream, is it? So it should be decrypted as well. When it received by the destination or the end user, it will be decrypted so that the end user can able to read whatever I sent by converting it into byte stream. Is it? Let me explain. Let's say it is a source where you sent a message to a destination. Okay, so your message would be converted into byte stream to transmit in the channel, and when it reached to a destination, the deserialization would be happen, converting the byte stream back into the object so that it will be logical to the destination, and destination guy can able to read the message properly. Okay, so real life example, imagine packing a toy into a box for shipping. Serialization. You packed a toy, everything in the box has been serialized, and unpacking it at the destination, which is deserialization, which is very easy. Multi-threading, name itself said, multi-works or multi-threads have been connected somewhere. So thread creation and management. Definition: multi-threading allows a program to run multiple threads simultaneously, enhancing performance, especially for input-output bond or CPU bond task. Yes, multi-thread sometimes happens is like threads are independent process. So if you went for input-output simultaneously, you want to run something, you can totally do without making something stop, because you can create multiple threads to do the simple task. Okay, so multiple threads simultaneously, as it says, program to run multiple threads, first for input output, other for CPU bond, either if you want to. So enhancing performance, especially for input output. I'm done with it. So real life example: think of a restaurant kitchen where multiple chefs are threads. Someone is cooking Italian, someone is cooking vegetarian, non-vegetarian, something like that. So this is the threads which are there in the kitchen who's building multiple type of cuisines. So prepare different dishes at the time. So this is a basic difference, differentiation, or I would say definition of multi-threading and concurrency. Now, synchronization, name itself says synchronization, which is some things has been synchronized together. Synchronization is used to prevent a race condition. What is race condition? Something is like a resources A wants resources from B, and resources B is working on something. So they both need some work or some resources to work their task or to do their task, and they are stuck into the race condition. By controlling access to shared resources when multiple threads are running. Okay, so real life example: imagine multiple people trying to access shared ATM machine. Synchronization ensure that only one person can use the ATM at a time, because if 2%, how the two cards will be inserted into the ATM machine, isn't it? That's why, so that it will not hit the race condition, like everyone is looking for the same work to do. You can do one by one, it taken care by the synchronization, so that the work would be synchronized in a popular manner. So this is from the prime coding. I am done with the OOPS concept. Now I will move towards OS, CN, DBMS, SQL concepts. But please do hit a like of 600 likes on this video, okay? Which will totally motivate me. Whoever is watching, it is a very easy. Every person need to put only one like and you are done. Then after that, please comment down all the homeworks, whatever I give in the video, and what you feel about this crash course, whether it is you feel good or not, whether you love it or not, and what is the quality. Do let me know. I tried my best to create the best OOPS crash course for the interview preparation. So we'll meet you with a new series or with a new crash course very soon. Please do the task, read it, learn it, and if you were able to crack any interview or you found any interview questions, do comment down below. We'll love to read it. So we'll meet you with a new video soon.